In the 1920s, the Soviet Union was looking for a new kind of power to dominate the globe. Joseph Stalin wanted a unique advantage that no other nation on Earth possessed. He wanted a new kind of worker and a new kind of soldier for his growing empire. He envisioned a creature that could work tirelessly in the harshest conditions imaginable. He wanted a soldier who would never tire, never complain, and never question his orders. To achieve this bizarre goal, he turned to a famous Soviet biologist named Ilya Ivanov. Ivanov was already well known across Europe for his successful experiments in crossbreeding animals. Stalin granted the scientist a massive budget and full government support for his secret research. The objective of this project was both incredibly ambitious and deeply horrifying. They wanted to create a living human-ape hybrid. Stalin believed this creature would be physically superior to any normal human being. He thought it would be the ultimate mindless tool for his totalitarian regime. Ivanov traveled deep into the jungles of Africa to begin his first series of experiments. He established a research facility and began collecting local chimpanzees. He started by attempting to artificially inseminate female chimpanzees with human donors. The initial attempts in Africa were documented as total scientific failures. The local population grew suspicious and hostile toward the strange nature of his research. Because of the backlash, Ivanov was forced to pack up his lab and leave the region. The project then moved to a remote, highly secretive site in Sukhumi within the Soviet Union. Ivanov built a brand new ape enclosure and ordered a fresh shipment of monkeys. He continued his attempts by trying to breed the animals with human volunteers. The project faced endless ethical dilemmas and extreme practical hurdles every single day. Many of the monkeys involved in the research died from infections and severe stress. The rest of the world remained completely unaware of what was happening behind closed laboratory doors. The project soon became a dangerous point of obsession for the Soviet leadership. They continued to pour massive amounts of money into the facility as the pressure mounted, but nature itself refused to cooperate with their twisted biological plans. The hybrid creature that Stalin dreamed of simply never came to exist. The entire experiment was fundamentally flawed from a genetic standpoint from the very beginning. Ilya Ivanov was eventually arrested when the political tides in the Soviet government suddenly shifted. He fell out of favor with Stalin and was accused of sabotaging his own work. He was exiled to a harsh labor camp in Kazakhstan, and the hybrid project was officially scrapped. Ivanov died in exile shortly after, leaving his research completely unfinished. All the related laboratory documents were locked away in secret Soviet archives for decades. When those documents were finally uncovered in the 1990s, the entire world was left in absolute shock. The public could not believe that a government had actually tried to breed humans with apes. It stands today as a haunting reminder of how far a regime will go for total control. It highlights the terrifying danger of science practiced completely without a moral compass. The experiment remains a dark and mostly forgotten chapter in early Soviet history. We have to wonder what other bizarre experiments were hidden away in those dusty archives. It is a story that forces us to question the ethical limits of human scientific ambition. Scientific progress is almost always viewed as a positive force for the development of humanity. But history clearly shows us that it can also be used for truly dark and unnatural purposes. We look back at this experiment today with a mix of deep confusion and absolute horror. It was not the first time a powerful leader tried to play God with human biology. It was also certainly not the last time such an attempt would fail. The desperate desire for control often blinds leaders to the rigid reality of the natural world. The hybrid super soldier remained nothing more than a chaotic fever dream of a dictator. The research facility in Sukhumi was eventually abandoned to the elements and the snow. The remaining scientists who worked there were forced to keep their dark secrets forever. Their work was erased from the official history books of the era. It took the eventual fall of the Soviet Union for the truth to finally leak out to the public. Historians spent years trying to piece together the exact timeline of this medical madness. Every single page of those recovered documents tells a story of extreme waste and cruelty. It serves as a stark and powerful warning to all future generations of modern scientists. We must ensure that scientific research always remains strictly guided by ethics, and humanity. The line between true progress and total perversion is often much thinner than we think. This failed project is a permanent testament to the dangers of unchecked totalitarian authority. It proves that even the most powerful men on Earth are ultimately at the mercy of biology. Nature always has a brilliant way of resisting the stubborn will of those who try to force it. The legacy of this experiment remains a permanent stain on the history of 20th century science. We should never allow ourselves to forget the lessons that this historical disaster provides us. It remains one of the most bizarre, chilling, and unbelievable episodes of the modern era. The story challenges our understanding of what human beings are capable of when pushed by greed. Even today, the details of Ivanov's work send chills down the spines of researchers. The apes that survived the project were eventually transferred to normal zoos or research labs. But the ghost of the experiment still hangs over the history of genetics. It shows what happens when ideological dogmas override proven scientific truths. Stalin wanted an army of invincible beasts, but ended up with nothing but empty cages. The project serves as an ultimate monument to human arrogance and political delusion. History will always remember the man who tried to breed a new species for war. And history will always remind us of how nature firmly put him back in his place. This is the disturbing reality of the secret Soviet Ape Man project. Did you know about this terrifying piece of history before today? Let me know in the comments.